Welcome to it's the lunch break, but it is the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Shout out to my brother Cole Johnson for that intro. He got me a 30-second spot, a BS3 spot, a little different than the 90-second spot that I usually play at the bottom of the hour. So there's something different here on today's lunch break, Throwback Thursday. Of course, you're watching the show on your platform, your favorite platform, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Fire TV, YouTube, of course, Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and of course, on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Woj. ESPN's Woj dropped a bomb this morning in college basketball. The Nutmeg State about the Lakers discussing in talks with UConn men's head coach, Danny Hurley, about coaching the Lakers, coaching LeBron and AD, and what happened to J.J. Redick. What are your thoughts on that? Would Danny Hurley leave UConn, back-to-back champs for the Lakers? And it is the Lakers, okay? It's not like he'd be leaving for the Pistons or the Rockets. It's the Lakers. La La Land. You could talk about personality. I'm not sure Coach Hurley's personality fits in Lakerland and all those things, but he's a hell of a coach. You got to give him that. He is a showman. Got to give him that. But it's an interesting move. I don't think it's a done deal. He stays or goes. I think UConn fans woke up and heard this news and realized one thing that Willie Gibson, my colleague and brother, have said for a while. Big bank, take little bank. Always does and always will. But would Coach Hurley want to leave? Because the money, he's going to make money at UConn. He make more money in LA, obviously. But is it the challenge of something new, something different? Yeah, he has won 2 straight titles in college. But could you imagine him winning an NBA title as well? As Rex 32 chimes in, what else does he need to accomplish at UConn? UConn fans might be hurt about that question. But seriously, you're a fan, you're hurt. Some of y'all might be thinking, how dare he? How could he? Why would he leave UConn? We're UConn. We are the blue blood. We are the dynasty in men's college basketball the last 25, 30 years, which Coach Hurley said after they won their second straight championship. But I'm past it. If he leaves, he leaves. If he stays, he stays. And some folks might wonder, well, why would he even do this? And the timing of it is interesting. Rex 32 chime in with this one, with this question. It's June 6th. If he leaves and takes the Laker job, this kneecaps UConn. What are they going to do for a legit replacement at this late date? And if he does leave, the players on the UConn roster would have 30 days to transfer. So why would any of them stay? Will they wait on, what current head coach at a big-time program would want to leave where he is right now for UConn in June? Now, maybe, April, March, but June? So the timing of this is very, very interesting. And some folks, I think some colleagues say, Coach Hurley's staying compared to Coach K had an offer from the Lakers years ago, and I think 20 years ago, and he decided to stay at Duke. That's 20 years ago. College basketball, semi-pro basketball has changed a lot in the last 3 years, let alone 20 years. And as Rex says right here, with the way NIL and transfer portal are in college, Danny Hurley better take advantage of this opportunity. He may be burned out about the travel, about dealing with NIL, about dealing with all kinds of stuff that a lot of college coaches are tired of dealing with. So I'm not sure. When I first heard about it, first saw Woj report it, I thought, he's going to stay at UConn. But more and more I've given it thought. I'm like, what else is there to do at UConn? His legacy is established. If he does leave, some folks may turn his name into mud in their eyes. But if he wants, and his wife says, hey, I will support you. It's the Lakers. You've always wanted to be a head coach in the NBA. You have this chance to coach the Lakers. So why not take that chance, take the opportunity, take that leap? And if it doesn't work out in 2-3 years, he can return to college for a lot of money and try to return that program or bring that program back to national championship relevance, prominence, whatever. So it's an interesting dilemma. It's a nice problem to have if you're Danny Hurley. Wish him well. He'll be fine regardless. Now, the players, I think most of them will be okay too. Young Mr. Caravan, who decided not to stay in the NBA draft and return to UConn. Well, if Danny Hurley leaves, he can go transfer somewhere else. I'm sure there are plenty of schools who will take him on the spot for his three-point shooting, his overall basketball high IQ, being a great glue guy, a great cutter off the ball, all those things. Rick says you're right about this as well. Danny Hurley could pull a Nick Saban. Didn't work out for Nick Saban in the NFL and came back to college, and I think he did okay at Alabama. I think he did okay. Going to be a Hall of Famer based on his success at Alabama. Some folks are going to hate it, going to hate Danny Hurley. He's just doing it for the money. You know, how dare he? I thought he was loyal to us. I thought he loved UConn. I thought he would be with us forever. And, I'm just so hurt and devastated and on and on and on. Well, that's your opinion. That's your feelings. He still might decide to stay. Right now, the Lakers and his reps are in discussion about becoming the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's start right there. Shift gears. Keep it on the NBA. I'm going to talk Cougs in a second. But Rex 32. Anybody watching on Facebook and YouTube and Fire TV and Twitter and Roku? Game 1 is tonight between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to play tonight in Game 1. We'll see how much rust he has from the time away injury. What you got, Miss Wanda? Rex 32, give me your predictions in this series. I already said I'm not going to change it. Previous shows and earlier this week, I said Boston in 7. Miss Wanda, who do you have? Rex, who do you have? And the folks watching on the platforms, chime in with the comments. Who do you have? Who are you picking? If you pick Dallas, it's okay. I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to question your sanity or anything like that. I just can't do it. I won't do it. Even though it would not shock me if Dallas won the series. I just won't pick a team from Dallas. Just won't. Just won't do it. So, but let me know what your thoughts are. As Rex says, can't root for Dallas. So I got to go with Boston in 7. That's fine. Miss Wanda says picking the Celtics. CA37, Boston in 6. So if you chime in, anybody want to pick Dallas, give me your reasons why. Now, if you pick Dallas because of the head coach, Jason Kidd over Joe Mazzulla, I have no problem with that. I think that is a clear advantage Mavs. Jay Kidd is head coach over Joe Mazzulla. But beyond that, personnel-wise, depth, defense, I think it's just I am picking Boston. Boston. And it's Eastern Conference, even though my favorite team, Eastern Conference, is in the dregs and is a mess, is in shambles, and all those things. I still will pick teams from the East over teams from the West. But yeah, let me know. Chime in. Why are you picking Dallas if you do pick Dallas? Kyrie, Luka, they are not the greatest backcourt in the history of the NBA. Sorry, Stan and Reggie. But just let me know your thoughts on that. Game 1 tonight is what, 7:30, I believe, on ABC, Central, 7:30 Central Time on ABC. Shifting gears again. Because, I got some stuff to say about the WNBA drama and the nonsense and folks who have no idea about the WNBA and what they're talking about or butting in and sticking in their nose where it doesn't belong on that stuff. My alma mater, the Houston Cougars. I'm going to talk about the positive news rather than that negative news that was posted pertaining to from Paul Samajama pertaining to the softball program. If you haven't heard about that, just check it out. Paul Samajama. It's not good. Not a good look for softball, the administration. And there's a connection. There's a thread tied with softball, and this person is also tied with the trash up that is women's basketball. Just saying. But I'm just saying on that. And you know who I'm talking about? Look it up. Not hard to find out who I'm talking about. But yeah, she's had her thumb on women's athletics at Houston for a while, and you see the lack of success of most of the UH athletic women's programs. But I digress. But good news. To some good news. UH track. Christian Sampe makes UH history on day 1 of the NCAA championships. Houston Cougar senior Christian Sampe earned a bronze in the men's pole vault for the highest finish in the University of Houston track and field men's history on yesterday, at the 2024 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Sampe scored first on the men's side as he cleared 5.52 meters, it's 18 feet, 1/4 inch, in the pole vault to earn third place for first team All-America honors. The senior also earned the highest finish in the event for Coug, surpassing Mark Hearn's 5th place finish in 1980. This marks Sampe's second career first team All-America outdoor honors. This year 24 and last year 23. And his third career outdoor All-America honors, first team 23-24, second team in 2021. The pole vaulter concludes his collegiate career as the event's indoor and outdoor school record holder. Houston's men's 4x100 meter relay team of senior Arian Brown, sophomore Louis Hinchcliffe, freshman, he got a bright future, freshman Caden Broadnax, and senior Sean Masingwanyi set the tone for the Cougs as they grabbed the first final qualification of the day. Relay team won their heat with a time of 38.48 and entered the final, which I think will be tomorrow, Friday, with the third fastest time. Senior Devion Wilson won his heat with a time of 13.34 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles. The 2023 NCAA Outdoor silver medalist enters the final with the third fastest time as he competes for a shot at the title on Friday. H-Town Speed City, love that nickname, continue to put on a show as sprinters Hinchcliffe and Masingwanyi secured their spots in the final of the 100 meters. Hinchcliffe posted the fastest overall time in the event with his time of 10.09 seconds. Masingwanyi placed second in the heat with his mark of 10.14. Masingwani's evening did not end there, as he secured his third and final qualification, this time in the 200 meters with a time of 20.25. Now, check this out. The senior has now advanced to the final in the 100 and 200 events in all four NCAA Outdoor Championship appearances. Masingwani is the first Cougar to go 8 for 8 on the men's collegiate side, and is the first person to do it overall since Walter Dix achieved the feat while at Florida State back in 2005 to 2008. 4 for 4, final in the 100 and the 200. That's a bad man. That's a bad man. Good afternoon to you, BS3 Sports, as you are watching the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E, and also on BS3 TV on Roku, courtesy of the great folks of BS3 Sports. And one more time, if you have a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. If you don't, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. BS3 Sports, who you picking? Are you picking the Mavs? I think y'all are in Dallas, right? Y'all are up there in the northern part of Texas. Shame. But whatever. But, what you got to do. Y'all picking the Mavs in 5, 6, 7, 4? Let me know. Let us know here. Most of the viewers are H-Town proud. But Rex, yes, Masingwani is definitely an Olympian. Back to it. The Cougs tennis team has a new head coach. Check this out. Katrina Adamovich had a press conference within the hour. I wasn't able to attend it, putting together everything for today's show. But back-to-back WAC tournament champion and 2024 WAC Coach of the Year, Katrina Adamovich, has been named the 11th head coach in Houston Cougars tennis history. It's a done deal. This was announced on Monday, June 3rd. Quote from Chris Pesman, the VP of Athletics: "I couldn't be more pleased with the addition of Katarina to lead our tennis program. She is a young, energetic, up-and-coming coach who has had an incredible amount of success in a short amount of time at Grand Canyon. I can't wait to see how she's going to replicate that here at the University of Houston as we continue to grow into the Big 12, end quote. Adamovich comes to Houston after spending 2 seasons as a head coach at Grand Canyon University, where she led the Lopes to the 2024 WAC regular season championship and back-to-back WAC tournament crowns to advance to 2 straight NCAA tournaments for the first time in program history. Quote from the new Coug head coach of tennis: "I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to lead the Houston women's tennis program. I'm thrilled to be back in the Big 12 Conference and to start this exciting journey. This marks the beginning of a new era for Houston tennis, and I can't wait to help the school become the next big destination in college tennis. I look forward to building a strong, competitive team and contributing to the legacy of excellence at the University of Houston," end quote. She's from Serbia. She began a coaching career at Cincinnati as an assistant for the women's tennis team from 2018 to 2021. The Bearcats finished with winning records in her first 2 seasons on staff and advanced to the quarterfinals of the AAC Conference Tournament in 2018, the program's best finish in 3 seasons. Going to jump a little ahead because she mentioned the Big 12. As a player, she was a top 20 ranked collegiate player at a perennial powerhouse and had a decorated career at Oklahoma State, capped by being named 2016 NCAA Tournament Most Valuable Player. The 4-time Big 12 All-Conference selection led Oklahoma State to back-to-back Big 12 championships in 2016 and 2017. So congratulations to new head coach of tennis, Katarina Adamovich, the Houston Cougars tennis head coach, on her getting that new gig. Miss Wanda, CA37, Rex 32. Everyone watching on Facebook, miss my man, Mr. Alan Tran. Hope he's watching somewhere on the left coast. I received information earlier this week regarding the contract status of Ronald Hughey. Coach Hughey's contract, current contract, and that should be his only contract, his last contract, ends May 31st, 2025. Okay, that'll be the end of his 11th season as head coach of the Houston Cougars women's basketball program. Barring some miracle, which I hope miracles do happen. I hope it does happen for the Houston Cougars women's basketball program. But barring that miracle, Coach Hughey would go through 11 years at Houston with 0 trips to the NCAA tournament. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I want to see Coach Hughey and the women's team reach the NCAA tournament. Not the WBI, not the whatever WNIT no longer still exists, but WBI is now, I think, ahead of it. So this is it. Rex, Miss Wanda, BS3 Sports, AJ, Willie Gibson, May 31st, 2025. That is the end date of Coach Hughey's contract. Now, Houston Athletics could do what they did with baseball's Todd Whitting and sign Coach Hughey to another contract. I sure hope they don't. I'd be disappointed if they did, but not shocked. And go back to this quote from Mr. Pesman, who y'all know I'm not a big fan of based on the job performance of most of his coaching hires at Houston. Let's see, back to Chris Pesman. Here we go. End of it. I can't wait to see how she's going to replicate that success here at the University of Houston as we continue to grow into the Big 12. Continue to grow into the Big 12. Rex says this is Coach Hughey's last dance. Miss Wanda says it's the last opportunity to get it right. Rex adds, I think women's basketball is on the chopping block first, but it may be softball based on what's going on. It could be. The softball coach, I think she has 1 year left in her deal as well. But leadership, what is it? Attitude reflects leadership. And the mess that is reported, alleged at UH softball, leadership. And I go back to it. There's one person higher than the softball coach. Softball coach has a great relationship with this person. And this person is a UH alum. This person has been in charge a long, long time. And this person has seen softball fall off a cliff. Women's basketball not reached the tournament since 2011. All of that is under her tenure at Houston. So, Chris Pesman, I know you're new at Houston as an AD. It's only been since 2017. this person was there before you in her position, but I hope you finally realize that some folks are not the right folks to lead Houston to grow into the Big 12 if Houston is truly wanting to compete for championships in the Big 12. Change needs to start high up in Houston athletics. Let me say it again. Change needs to start high up in Houston athletics. President Couture, Board of Regents, Tillman. What else is there to see? How long is it going to take? Rex says this could be true because I think it's also indicative of the financial problems that Houston athletics has, which is also their fault. Rex says, but I really assume Pez is waiting on the full shares from the Big 12 to hire new coaches. Full shares begin next summer. 2 years of not quite 50% of revenue distribution from the Big 12, then full shares starting July 1st, 2025. Then, of course, you got to pay the student assets. The student athletes, they're part of revenue distribution, that $17 to $22 million. Where's that money going to come from? Got to figure that out. Then you got to figure out how to pay these new head coaches, because if and when they do hire a new women's basketball head coach, a new softball coach, I feel certain that those new head coaches will want to make more money than the current Houston head coaches. Same with the staffs for both programs. So that's additional money needed. Where's it going to come from? We shall see. I'm going to take a quick break, and I do mean quick break. It's not going to be the usual 90-second promo of BS3. It's going to be about 40 seconds. This is a new promo that my man Cole Johnson put together to give you an indication of what BS3 TV is all about. So I'll be back in about 40 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E on Roku on BS3 TV.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E and courtesy of BS3 TV, the BS3 Network. If you have Roku, I love Roku. I've been without my broadband for going on 3 weeks, and I haven't missed a beat because I got Roku. And Wi-Fi finally got reconnected after the storm, so I'm still pushing forward. But if you have Roku, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, simply go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. First part of the show, we talked about, made some NBA Finals predictions. I got Boston in 7. So far, nobody said Mavs. Did anybody say Mavs? I don't believe anybody did. Everybody said Boston. So that's kind of a concern. Talked about Houston Cougars track and field success at the NCAA championships, and also the new hire of the head coach for Houston Cougars tennis. But now, going to talk about WNBA, Caitlin Clark, Kennedy Carter, media, folks who have no idea what the hell they're talking about. basketball players who have no idea, men's basketball players who have no idea what they're talking about. Jeff Teague. Just let her win. Just let her shoot. Just let her score. Hell, Gino Auriemma, who's a legendary head coach. She's being targeted. Okay. Everyone has probably seen it by now. You're probably tired of seeing it. Seeing the clip of Kennedy Carter's, it was a cheap shot, of Caitlin Clark. If you haven't seen it, here it is. And I'm getting better at technology. So it's going to be me talking over it because I took out the audio. So check this out if you haven't seen it. This is from, of course, Saturday. Game aired on ESPN between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever. There's a bump. Kennedy knocked Caitlin down. Caitlin fell to the court. Different angle. Kennedy called Caitlin a bitch. Then hip checked her. Caitlin fell to the court. Another angle. See it in slow motion. Hip check. It was uncalled for. It was unnecessary. It was unwarranted. Y'all seen it by now. All of that. Y'all seen that. Ad nauseum. Y'all seen that. Even I read about it. I forgot to get the politician's name, but an Indiana congressperson, representative, wrote a letter to the WNBA commissioner. Do something about this. This is wrong, and y'all should protect Caitlin Clark, and this is awful for the sport and awful. And politicians are butting into this now. Give me a freaking break. But I hope that same politician is going to send a letter in, which he won't, to the WNBA commissioner about this, which happened earlier in the week between the Chicago Sky and Connecticut Sun. Alyssa Thomas knocked down Angel Reese. Look at that left arm to Angel's throat. Threw Angel down to the court. Another angle of it. Alyssa Thomas, left arm to Angel's neck. Angel goes flying to the court. One more angle. Okay? One more angle. Let me show it again. Look at this. Y'all see it? You see the arm to her throat and knocks Angel down. Angel was in the air and knocked her to the court. Rex 32, CA 37, Willie Gibson, AD Moore, everybody watching on Twitter, Facebook, Roku, Fire TV, Twitch. Have y'all heard Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Smith, Pat McAfee, pick an NBA player, say anything about that contact, that foul of AT against Angel Reese? Have you heard, who was it, the Chicago Times, Chicago reporter just wrote a scathing criticism of Kennedy Carter for her unnecessary bump of Caitlin Clark. Clearly, unnecessary, clearly. But was it an arm to the neck of a player in the air and tossing her to the floor? Huh? Was it like that? What is it? What do they say? I don't know if they still say it because I'm old now. I don't know if they still say it. That's receipts. I got receipts. Stephen A. Shannon Sharp. Pat McAfee. Colin Cowherd. Any other dude who butted in. Any other dude who has not watched WNBA prior to this month, May or June. Giving their opinion. Coming to the aid of the delicate flower that is, in y'all's eyes, Caitlin Clark. Any comment on that? No. Why the hell not? That game was on CBS Sports. Alyssa Thomas was ejected from the game for that. It was a flagrant 2 foul, I believe, and she was tossed from the game. But where's the indignation from these dudes, these men, about what AT did to Angel Reese? Crickets. But Caitlin Clark, she's the savior of the WNBA. She's the reason why the league has charter flights. No, she's not. She's taken, this is the first year of it being implemented league-wide. But charter flights was in the works for years in the WNBA. Where is Mike DeCourcy from Sporting News? Wrote about Kennedy Carter. Who heard of Kennedy Carter before this foul against Caitlin Clark? Well, Mike, if you follow women's basketball, you would know. She's an All-American at A&M. Drafted by the Dream, Atlanta Dream. Sparks. Those two teams cut her because she's had problems. She's had issues in the locker room. She's what is it called? She's emotional. So all these folks, these Johnny come latelys, these Donald come latelys, these Stephen come latelys, these Charles come latelys, these Pat come latelys. Oh, these Jeff come latelys. Guys who have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But it's Caitlin Clark. So anything that happens to her, it's got to be a crime. Shame on the W for this. This should not be allowed. The WNBA officiating needs to be better. Because that foul by Kennedy Carter, it was called an off-the-ball foul at the time. The refs, after the fact, changed it to a flagrant 1 foul. It was called an off-the-ball foul initially. Ref standing right there on the baseline. Saw it. What? What? As Rex says, the foul on Reese was dangerous. That could end a career versus what happened to Clark. And I'm not defending Angel Reese. I'm not defending Angel for clapping, smiling that Kennedy checked Caitlin Clark. Far from it. But I want those same folks who have spoken from their chest about the Kennedy Carter hit on Caitlin Clark to speak from their chest about the Alyssa Thomas hit on Angel Reese. Look at AT. That's an arm to the neck. And she tosses, and AT is a strong woman. She is not to be played with. What they say about, she got grown woman strength. Okay? But where is the uproar about this? Nothing. Nothing from those same guys who most of them probably hadn't even seen the WNBA until May of 2024. And they're watching because of Caitlin Clark. I understand that. CC is popular. She is the hot ticket. She's the it person right now. I understand that. But there are other teams in the WNBA and other players in the WNBA The league was here before Caitlin Clark. The league, as long as they continue with good leadership, will be here after Caitlin Clark. But all of this, oh my gosh, shame, shame, shame on Kennedy. And yesterday, there was a man who the Sky arrived at the next game at the hotel where they're staying. And this guy tried to confront Kennedy Carter. Fortunately, security stopped him. What the hell, people? I mean, the anger and the hatred and vitriol that some folks have against Kennedy Carter for that hip check against Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is not perfect. She's not an angel. She's not an angel. She's not innocent. She's not deserved to be hit like that. I agree. I'm not saying that at all. But there are other players in the W. There are other fouls in the W. There are other flagrant fouls in the W. Rebecca Lobo said on ESPN earlier this week, last season, there were 65 flagrant one fouls in the WNBA. 65. So the flagrant one that the refs finally called Kennedy's foul on Caitlin was not the first flagrant one in the history of the WNBA. It won't be the last. So stop with this outrage. And I'm aghast at women being physical. I'm aghast at how dare they? What? Wake up. Open your eyes. And as Rex says here, how sad of a human being do you have to be to confront an athlete at a hotel over a foul? One more time. How sad of a human being do you have to be to confront an athlete at a hotel over a foul? Society has lost civility. It's a game played between competitive people, competitive teams, competitive coaches. But I'm not making this stuff. I'm making this stuff personal that I want to go attack a player, attack a ref, attack a coach because a player committed a foul that against my favorite player, or because a player missed a free throw, or because a player missed a layup, or cost me some money in a bet. What is wrong with us? We have to do better. We need to do better. My goodness. All right. I'm down from my soapbox, but thank you for the platform to BS3 Sports. Thank you to AJ Jones, for allowing me this time here on the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break. Of course, it's powered by JM&E. Folks, we got to do better. And Gino Auriemma, Kaylin's being targeted. And Gino's showing his age, talking about he didn't see Jordan get roughed up his rookie year. Huh? You didn't? You didn't see Magic Bird? What? Gino, what? And his own players who are currently in the W disagree with him about that, about Kaylin being targeted. Folks, this is a physical sport. That foul by Kennedy on Caitlin was unnecessary. It was a cheap shot. But it sure as hell wasn't as bad as this right here. It wasn't bad as that. From Alyssa Thomas to Angel Reese. Angel Reese, another rookie in this stellar WNBA rookie class. So, gain some perspective. And if you don't know what you're talking about, Stephen A., Pat McAfee, Charles Barkley, Jeff Teague, ask someone who does know more, who does know what they're talking about. I do not know everything. And I try to get more info before I speak on it. But if you saw that AT hit on Angel Reese, there's no way you'd be screaming and hollering about that foul that Caitlin Clark got from Kennedy Carter, about how egregious that was and how, oh my gosh, it was just she should be arrested for assault. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, great point by Rex. The NBA players, former players, complain about the WNBA being too rough, but the old school dudes say they complain about the NBA being too soft. Make it make sense, Rex. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I just don't know. By the way, let me cool off with a sip of refreshing beverage in my Houston Roundball review mug. Get yours, and I will set up the shop link buttons. So busy today, still dealing with insurance and FEMA and stuff from the storm damage. So I'm trying to catch up on a lot of things. I am planning to interview later on Thursday afternoon, Texas Southern women's head coach Vernette Skeet. So look for that conversation later on to be posted later on today, hopefully this evening before the start of the WNBA finals. Excuse me, the NBA finals. Got W on my brain. The NBA finals between Dallas and Boston. And we're going to wrap it up in these final moments. Again, the eyeballs kind of popped up. Folks who are chiming in, watching here, thank you very much. Watching the Houston Roundball review takeover of the lunch break. Give me your comments. Type them up. Send them to me. Who are you picking? Dallas or Boston? Let me know. I'm saying Boston in 7. Most folks are saying Boston either in 6 or 7. What do you think? Mavs 4, 5, 6, 7. Boston 4, 5, 6, 7. Which Boston team is going to show up? Will it be? You notice that too, huh, Rex? You notice that too. Well, I'm just going to leave that right there. If you're listening, if you have the audio of this podcast, the comment from Rex on the screen is, you interviewed every women's college coach in Houston except one. LOL. And I have Coach Huey's number. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, just leave it at that. But I have noticed on the school's social media platforms, mainly on Instagram, this first week of June was move-in week for the newcomers at Houston, at Rice, at Texas Southern. I'm assuming the same at Houston Christian as well. Coach Craig Doty, the new head coach of HCU men's hoops, who I've interviewed. Hope to speak to him again this summer. Rob Lanier, head coach, new head coach of Rice men's basketball. But this move-in week, the Cougs freshmen, I believe they have arrived. The men's freshmen, well, I know the women's freshmen have arrived, I think, as well. Still waiting on the press release to be announced for the NIL event in Vegas for the Players Era Festival. Hope that is not a bad thing that nothing has been announced yet. As far as I know, it's still going to happen. I know the Cougs men's team has a signed contract for it to happen that last week in November, Thanksgiving week. So I'm just waiting for the official word regarding the Players Era Festival. If you haven't seen it on, I think, my Folks Talking Sports Instagram account, the Folks Talk Sports on Twitter, maybe even also on Houston Roundball Review as well, those platforms. The Houston Roundball Review, heck, the media group, but me, has been approved for the Big 12 Football Media Day in Vegas in July. In Vegas. And I guess, I hope it's not a secret, but I'm going to share this. And so have young Mr. Andy Yanez and also young Mr. Dayon Dunlap. So all three of us have been approved to attend and cover the Big 12 Football Media Days in Las Vegas in July. Dan's going to check his schedule, see if he can get that approval from the office, the TV station where it works. So if he can, you know what that could mean, people. You know what that could mean. Could be a Let's Rage Cougs in Vegas from Big 12 Football Media Day. Just saying. Just saying. Think about that. We're not going to be doing that. My days doing that are over. But yeah, we're not doing that. But yes. So it could be in July, could be the first of two visits of Let's Rage Cougs in Vegas. Because we are planning also to be back in Vegas in November for the Cougs games in the Players Era Festival. So putting that in the universe. If you want to advertise, by all means, get in touch with me. I think I have it here in this area of the platform. This is a little bit different. This is not my home base, but I'm going to different email for me, but you get the idea. It's all me going to advertise at thehrr.com. So once again, advertise at thehrr.com. Right there. Advertise at thehrr.com to advertise on this show. Let's Rage Cougs, Folks Talking Sports, and of course, Let's Talk Houston Rockets. Get back into that. Certain people over the Rockets have pissed me off, but I'll get over it and move on from that as well. I will be I will be at the American Athletic Conference Football Media Day for Rice. That's the last week of July. I think I'll have a colleague at the SEC Football Media Day and maybe a colleague at the SWAC Football Media Days in Birmingham for PV and Texas Southern. Media group. The Houston Roundball Review is a media group. Looking for advertising. All these shows. These trips cost money. But more importantly, you can get your word out about your company on this show and all these platforms. On the shows, on Instagram, on Threads, on TikTok, on Spoutable, on Twitter, on the YouTube Shorts as well. Reach thousands of folks by advertising with me on these platforms. So email me at advertise@thehrr.com. That'll do it. Started out the show talking about Danny Hurley. Will he go to the NBA to become the next head coach of the Lakers? Lakers and Danny's reps are discussing everything. Going to be a lot of money, but I'm not sure what Coach Hurley will do. He's going to do the best, make the best decision for him and his family, and then folks will respond how they want to respond. But Coach Hurley has always wanted to be a head coach in the NBA. He's won the last 2 NCAA championships. He may feel it's time for him to scratch a new itch, and that new itch is being a head coach in the NBA. We shall see. The timing of it would be bad for UConn in terms of hiring a powerhouse head coach, and in terms of the players may transfer if Coach Hurley leaves to become Lakers head coach. We shall see. Who knows? But as always, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight. Mavs in Boston. I think Boston will win tonight. We'll see about Game 2. But as always, tell your friends about the Houston Roundball Review. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Take care. Peace.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Thursday, June 6, 2024. Number 1, President Biden issued an executive order Tuesday regarding migration at the southern border. The measure, which went into effect at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday, bars most migrants from requesting asylum when there are more than a daily average of 2,500 illegal crossings. The restrictions will last for 2 weeks after illegal crossings dip below an average of 1,500 per day. Some Democrats have come out against the order, asking the president to take a comprehensive approach to immigration reform, and that includes countries like Haiti. Number 2, the U.S. Department of Education is reviewing the Federal Student Aid Office due to its delays and errors in the FAFSA rollout. These issues disrupted decision timelines for current and prospective college students nationwide. In a letter to staff, Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona promised transformational changes to address the problems that plague the FAFSA rollout. Number 3, psoriasis brings emotional, social, and psychological effects beyond the physical symptoms. Advocating for yourself is crucial to manage these challenges. It involves educating yourself about the condition, navigating the healthcare system, seeking support, and educating others. Read more about it in today's newsletter. Number 4, due to a recently passed state law in Florida, an organization called Equal Ground Education Fund was forced to cut staff, stop in-person voter registration, and experience a funding drop. This law, along with similar laws in several states, increased penalties for assisting voters, leading to organizations ceasing or altering their activities. Although a federal judge blocked portions of the Florida law, it still directly affects voter advocacy organizations in the state before the ruling. Number 5, a new study has examined the effects of internet addiction on teenage brains, when researchers found impaired brain activity involving attention, memory, and other vital functions in teens addicted to the internet. Teenage brains are susceptible to modifications due to their persistent development, making this a significant consideration. The study highlights the need for awareness and understanding regarding teenage internet addiction, even though the U.S. does not currently recognize this as a clinical disorder. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Sometimes the best way to find clarity is to let go and what? Let things play out. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with mental health and wellness contributor April Russell as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.